Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you again for joining us this morning. My name is Cindy Kuhl, and with me is Joyce Nichols, and we're very excited to share with you this morning how you can have ACT anywhere. We have recently been having a lot of people ask us about ACT in the cloud, and we wanted to just make sure people are understanding that you can have ACT in the cloud, and you can have ACT anywhere. So this morning, in our 20-minute webinar, we're going to share with you a few things that you can be able to make sure you're aware of the fact that you can have ACT no matter where you may be. Again, this webinar is being recorded, so the video will be sent to you in a few days. So feel free to watch it again, share it with other colleagues and friends. Hopefully they can understand that you can have ACT, again, anywhere that you may go. So as this introduction to that statement that you can have ACT anywhere, whether you're on a plane or at the beach or maybe at a rodeo, you can actually have ACT on a laptop, and you can have ACT Premium for Windows, a remote database on your actual laptop. So you can take this data with you wherever you may go. Or maybe you're in your office or in your car and you have internet connection and you want actual live interaction into your database that's in the cloud. You can have ACT Premium for Web. And those two applications will synchronize together. They can actually, where you change information in one application, it will then funnel or sync to the other application. I'm going to show that to you this morning. So no matter where you're at, whether you're plugged in with internet connection or you're not plugged in, you can have ACT anywhere on those different devices, as well as on a smartphone. For example, if you're in a meeting, maybe you need to be able to schedule a new appointment and you don't have your laptop with you, you don't have access to your database via the cloud. Maybe you want to have it on your smartphone and you have ACT. There's a couple options for you. One's called Handheld Contact and one is called ACT Companion. I'm going to show those to you as well. But again, you may be sitting at a meeting, you've got your phone with you, or maybe a soccer game, or maybe a football game, or again, a rodeo, somewhere you might be that would be, all you have with you is your phone, and you need to be able to schedule that next appointment, or look up someone's phone number, or maybe even email them. So I'm going to show you a couple options that you have when it comes to your mobile devices as well. So again, you really can have ACT anywhere. So what I'm going to show you this morning is using the new version of ACT, which was released in October. So it's only been out for about a month. It is the version 20 version of ACT. And what SwiftPage has been doing is making they've changed the look a little bit about the version of ACT 20 and the ACT for Windows. They've made it look more like their web product. And so what you see in front of you is what is a screenshot of what it looks like in the back view. There is what it looks like on the current version 20 ACT for Windows application, and what it looks like. And I've circled the fact that this is the ACT for Web application here in the bottom right corner. Again, the look and feel is the same. So what's nice about that, you don't have to learn something totally different when you're using ACT for Web as compared to ACT for Windows. So those of you on this call, if you're used to ACT for Windows, a transition to ACT for Web is very, very easy to do. So just wanted to reiterate that, again, show you the fact that they've modernized it, they've changed some of the icons, making it look a little more fresher as far as that goes, and again, similarity as far as how they look. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the live demo portion of this and just pop back here to ACT for a moment. So what I'm looking at right now, or showing you right now, this is the ACT for Windows application. This is my actual database, and I've pulled up a contact in my ACT database. His name is John Wayne. And in this demo, I'm not going to go into how you actually use ACT. I think a lot of you probably know how to use ACT, but maybe aren't aware of the fact that ACT, you can have these remote offline copies of ACT synchronized with your web database that's in the cloud. Again, giving you that mobility wherever you may be. So here we have John Wayne in Winterset, Iowa. I've got a phone number, but I'm missing his address. And so here is the application of the ACT for Windows. If I come down to the bottom, I've also got my ACT for Web application open as well. And I've got the same John Wayne record. Again, missing the address. I've got him in Winterset, Iowa, but I'm missing some information. So no matter where I am, whether I'm on the web or if I'm on the Windows application, doesn't matter. If I add some information in here and I then do what's called synchronization within ACT, that information does get sent back and forth. So as an example, I'm going to come back here to ACT on my Windows, my desktop application. This is actually on my laptop. And I've got an address. I'm just going to fill in something here fictitiously to put in here. 124th Street in Winterset, Iowa. So I've got some information in here. I've updated this. Maybe I'll even put a phone number in here and just make sure that I've got this information completed correctly. I'm going to go ahead and save that. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to force the synchronization. In other words, I'm going to make this happen to send this information up to my cloud. So I've actually created a little shortcut button up here to do this quickly. And what that's doing right now is taking this information, taking that change, and pushing that up to the cloud application. And in just a moment, we'll go back and take a look at that exact same contact record on the cloud, and you'll see that information has been completed. The synchronization process can be set up to be automatic, so it can actually be running in the background. And so that's how Joyce and I have ours set up. So it runs about every hour, every 2 hours. Again, I can manually force it if I've made a lot of changes and I want to make sure that information gets pushed up to the cloud. I can do that as well. But you can actually have this set up in a scheduled task so that it would synchronize behind the scenes on a periodic basis. So as this is synchronizing back behind the scenes, if you will, I'm going to go ahead and go back here to my web application, and I'm going to do the same type of thing. I'm going to look up something in here and look up, I think it was Mickey Mouse I was working with on my preparation here. And so I wanted to, again, show you no matter where you're at, whether you're on the web version or the Windows application, this information can go back and forth between each other. So on my web version of ACT right now, I've pulled up Mickey Mouse. Again, I'm missing the address. I'll just go ahead and keep something simple. We know he's in Florida. Orlando, Florida will be where the city that he's at. Make our changes here. We go ahead and save our changes on the web application. And again, once the synchronization has happened from the desktop or the laptop application, then this update information will get updated. So what I just changed here will show up on my laptop, and what I changed on my laptop will show up on the web. So it's very, very easy to do, very, very easy to have the synchronization set up. And again, you see the similarity as far as how it looks. We have the navigation bar on the left-hand side where we can go into our different context groups, companies, calendar. The look and feel is very similar. They've changed the icons, and these are icons on the web application. If I go back to the Windows application, which is where I'm going to do that right now, back to the Windows application, you see you have the same left-hand side navigational panel. The icons are all the same now. It used to be prior to this version of ACT, the icons were different. You had to kind of understand, okay, which icon represented different items. So they've made that, that look and feel very similar. So I just wanted to introduce that to you. So any of you on the call that have a subscription to ACT and or are looking at upgrading your version of ACT, then this is what the new version of ACT will look like. It's going to have a new look and feel, a coloring scheme with it. Okay. So let me go ahead and our synchronization, I believe, is finished. It's been done here. We're going to let it go ahead and tell us it's been finished. I'm going to go ahead and close this. I'm just going to go ahead and go back to my web version here, and I'm going to go back to my John Wayne. And we should see everything has been added back to here's my street address. I added that, and I added a new phone number on my web version. So those two items have been synchronized. So it takes a look at the changes, see what's been changed, and pushes that information up to the cloud. And just as I had made the change on the cloud version, when I go back and synchronize again, this can, remember, keep in mind this can be an automatic synchronization setup to be done, then the information I change on the web version will actually come back into the desktop version as well. So again, I just wanted to just make sure you all knew that this is really the only application, ACT is the only application that gives you this full, robust offline experience where you may have, again, a laptop computer, or you want to be able to have your data when you're not connected to the internet. ACT is the only CRM on the market that allows you to have a full offline client like I'm looking at right here. So what's nice about this, I can take this. I was just doing some traveling the last couple of weeks. I made some changes to this. I was not connected to the internet. I didn't have great internet connection where I was up in Montana, and I could make my changes. And then Joyce, my colleague, where I'll be able to see those changes as we had synchronized and got connected to the internet, and she was able to see those changes and vice versa. So again, here, this is my desktop application. I'm going to go ahead and go back to, if this is finished, it may take a little bit, but I would be able to then go back and see my Mickey Mouse and my web application and see the changes that have been made back in the Windows application. So again, just want to reiterate the fact that you can have it all. You can have ACT, full-blown ACT on a laptop device or on a desktop device, full-blown ACT on a Windows or web device, whether you're using Chrome or whether you're using an Apple-type device. You can also put them on a MacBook, for example, when you're using Chrome. Anyway, you can have it anywhere. You can have it all places. So that's kind of a little bit about the desktop and the web version of ACT. The other thing I wanted to mention to you, a couple other items, is the mobile devices and what you can do with the mobile devices. And so with the mobile devices, let me go ahead and just bring up a screenshot here for you on that. There's actually two options for you. Let me back up and just talk a little bit about more additional information on the CRM itself. Again, I mentioned that ACT is the only CRM that gives you a full offline experience to be able to have this offline, this database on any device. There are a few changes, a few features that are not available in the premium version of ACT, so the desktop version of ACT versus the web version of ACT. So it is something you might want to be aware of. As an example, we have a lot of people that have looked at switching completely to the web version. And the one question I would ask them is if they use the right mouse click to do a lookup of a contact or lookup of any type of field. So when you do a right mouse click, by the way, just so you know what I'm talking about here, and I'm back here on the desktop version, when I do a right mouse click, I can look up any particular field and look in that particular field with a right mouse click. I can do that on the Windows version, but that's one feature that's not available on the web version because the web type application. So keeping those things in mind is something that'd be helpful for you. Just something to keep in mind. I do have an article here that if you go out to kb.act.com and you put in the answer ID of 38880, it will give you a list of those features that are not available in the web version that are available on the desktop version. So just something to keep in mind. I'd be happy to talk through those as well and discuss what those features are. So going back to a little bit about also ACT for Web. So it is ACT for Web, meaning it has to be hosted somewhere. It has to be hosted on a server that is cloud enabled. You can do this yourself if you have your infrastructure set up in your own office, that you can actually do a web-enabled server. If not, we can host your database for you. And some people on this call, that's what we're doing. We're hosting your database for you so you can have access to ACT wherever you may go. It's only $15 to $25 a month per user more. So it's just very, very inexpensive to give you this mobility. And the nice thing about having the ACT Premium in the cloud, it does give you this another application called ACT Companion. And ACT Companion is a new mobile app that was just released. Again, it's been out for probably maybe 9 months, but they're continuing to make changes to it and add new features to it. So ACT Companion comes as part of your ACT subscription and also comes as part of your hosting plan. It's a great new application that allows you to have ACT on your device. You can create, update, and delete contacts. You can add your activities and to-dos. You get upcoming alerts. It does allow you to create some history. When you're talking, let's say you talk to this person, you want to create a history item in that particular contact record. As you see on this particular slide, it gives you driving directions, so how you would drive and get to that particular person. This is pulling your contacts from the ACT database. And there's a new feature with version 20. It's called Insight, and it's a new dashboarding feature, and you'll also be able to see some dashboards on your phone as well. So look at your sales processes and different sales information. You'll be able to see that information on your device as well. So it's really pretty exciting to have this free mobile app that you can actually get with ACT version 20 as well. The other app I wanted to mention to you that Joyce and I have been using for many, many, many years is called Handheld Contact. It was the first app that was actually created by a third-party vendor to work with ACT. So when you're sitting there again in your meeting or sitting at your soccer game or sitting at a football game and you're with your kids and you need to look up a phone number. You need to look at what am I doing tomorrow. I need to see my activities. I need to see my schedule. I need to look up an address, anything like that. It does allow you to have ACT on a device. So the one thing I like about handheld contact is the fact that it's actually installed on your device. You can see by the picture, you can do it on an iPad or iPhone, Android phone. You can actually have it on any of those types of devices where it's not internet specific. I don't have to be connected to the internet. I can update, make changes, almost like having a remote database, but on my phone, on my mobile device. So it wirelessly synchronizes the information back and forth between your master database and your handheld device. So it's a very, very easy to use, user-friendly. They've got some great enhancements they've been making to this product as well. And this screenshot
Cindy,
just gives you a quick, go ahead. Go ahead, Joyce.
Oh, Cindy, I'm sorry, but this is Joyce, and I just wanted to add, I work with a lot of clients with the handheld contact, and one of the things that they really like is the fact that, as Cindy said, it doesn't mix your app contacts into your native phone app. It's a separate app that's available anytime. And so the way that a lot of our clients use it is when they go into a meeting, they have a history, and all they need to do is when they get back in their vehicle, they just look up that activity, and then they can voice record the history. So again, using just the microphone on their phone, they can voice record, they can set new appointments with the voice record. Also, when they dial from handheld contact, you'll see like in the screenshot, the mobile phone, all they do is press the phone number, and of course it dials the phone for them, the number for them, and it automatically creates a history in ACT. In the same way, if they email from handheld contact, when they click that email link, johnwayne@gmail.com, and they send that email, it automatically creates that email history in ACT. And that is a great feature, especially for salespeople that are on the road. They don't have to open up ACT and type in histories. It will record it for them automatically.
Great. Yep. Thanks, Joyce. That is a great feature, and I love the fact that you can just tap your microphone on your phone and just record, like you said, record the details, and it just goes back into ACT. So again, it's having your mobile device available to you wherever you're at, and you can have access to your information right there in front of you. I also have a screenshot here. It brings your notes over as well. It brings your notes, your histories, all that information right there at your fingertips on your mobile device. It's only less than $80 a year, so it's very inexpensive for the efficiencies that you get from this particular application. It's something that we highly recommend. When people are asking us for what can we have on your smartphone or on your iPad, tablet, we really recommend that. You can also do a free trial, and that's something that Joyce and I can help you set up as well. So let us know if you're interested in that, something you want to test out. You can get a 14-day trial and just say, see if this is going to be something for your sales team or for yourself individually that might be something you want to take a look at. So this is a quick recap. Again, our 20 minutes is already over. It goes so quickly. But I just wanted to recap the fact that you can have ACT anywhere. There's really no limit on what device you can have ACT on. It works on, again, your desktop applications, your Windows applications. It even will work through the ACT Premium for Web on your MacBooks, your Apple devices. So we get that question a lot too. How can I use it? I've got an Apple MacBook, for example, and I want to be able to use it. Well, you can do it using ACT Premium for Web. So again, you have all these different options for you. It's the only application on the market that gives you all of this flexibility. And that's something that I think people just need to understand. This is the only program, the only CRM type program that gives you best of both worlds. When you're plugged in to the internet and when you're not plugged into the internet. And again, you've got a couple different options for your mobile devices as well. So again, I just want to stress that enough that people keep asking us that question, can we have ACT in the cloud? And most definitely you sure can. And it's something that SearchPage is working really diligently on to make it a great, viable product to be able to have it in the cloud as well. So again, we just want to thank you for joining us this morning. We hope that was good information and helpful for you. That will be the last session that we have for 2017. But for upcoming sessions, we're going to continue our webinar series. We just find people really see the value in it. And we'll be talking about some new features within ACT. One's called ACT Connections, where you can actually connect ACT with even more options, more applications out there. For example, if any of you use SurveyMonkey as an example and you want to do a survey to your customers, that information can funnel back into ACT automatically. So it's called ACT Connections, and ACT will work with over Oh, well, there's hundreds. There's hundreds of connections that we'll work with. QuickBooks Online, it will do some e-commerce connections. So if you do anything with e-commerce, it just opens up the door to be able to have ability of having ACT connecting with other applications you may use. Another feature is called ACT Insight. It's another new feature with version 20 that's just taking the dashboards that are already there and making them even better. Those are a couple ideas. If you have any ideas or suggestions that you want to see in upcoming webinars, please let us know that as well. We'll probably try to do 3 in the first quarter. We try to do 3 a quarter if we can. But anyway, just watch for that. Watch for upcoming emails. But again, we want to just thank you so much for your time that you came this morning. Thank you for your relationships that you have with us. We are here to help. Anything that we can do, please email us, call us, reach out to us, let us know how we can help you just take ACT and make it more efficient and more effective for your business. So again, have a wonderful holiday season coming up, Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up, so enjoy all that time with friends and family, and we'll see you in 2018. Thank you.